Hello Targar friends. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another orc mode workout. And you guys saw the random number generator, and that's the lift that we do today. 12-inch box squat with 91 pounds of chains, and we did get a PR on this. By the way, for those of you who watch these videos every day, please remember to click like down below. You guys got to remember there's people who run a dislike bot, and you guys who watch these faithfully, it would be really appreciated if you guys could offset that and just reach down and click like, just to show your support. Because I know you guys enjoy these or you wouldn't watch them every day. So please do that for me. But over to the lift. Now I did the slowed down version with a little bit of theatrics earlier for you guys. For those curious, why is this a PR? Because we have not done this much at the bottom with this much chain weight at the top. I have actually hit this exact amount in terms of lockout with chains not that long ago, but it was 10 pounds heavier out of the bottom, so that's why. Because I've actually done 432 with 101 chains, so 442 with 91s of chains means the same lockout with a little bit more coming out of the bottom. So these are little micro PRs, but I'm an advanced lifter, guys. I'm an advanced lifter. If I can get all these little PRs, they accumulate. Also, the thing to factor in, this is my 8th day in a row maxing out. I haven't had a day off from training, and these have all been filmed, so these are verifiable because, I mean, I'm filming them every single day for you guys. So we're doing a max lift, training max, if not an all-out max, followed by large amounts of assistance volume. But I'm doing random lifts. That's one of the things that people need to understand. I may go ahead and write this into a system that's a 4-day-a-week system that people could maybe take a little bit further. I would say something like what I'm doing right now. To even do this 4 days a week, you're going to need your work capacity and recovery on point. You're going to have to. Like, it's no joke. And doing it 7 days a week, you guys have to understand my lifestyle's completely perfect for this, and I will take deloads. This is not going to be forever. But here we go. Bar speed was good on this. I was happy with this. Now, it was heavy, but one of the things I want people to notice I'm eliminating the thoracic issue we're having at the top. A lot of it has to do with neck position, bracing, the fact that I've built my T-spine up a bit. But watch. Kept that upper back upright. Perfectly upright for a PR. So we locked 533 at the top while keeping that T-spine on point. So up next, these were hard. I decided to go ahead and do some step-ups. This was a little bit too much weight. I only got 8 reps per side. I'm like, I'm done after squatting. I was struggling with these. This is the heaviest weight I've ever tried on these. For those curious, that's 115. 115. But keep in mind, I weigh 221 right now. That's what I weighed this morning, 221 pounds. And this is on each leg. That's on each leg, so we're talking about like 340, stepping all the way up with one leg and then doing rep work. And keep in mind, I'm over a 500-pound squatter, so it should give an idea of how difficult that is. But I decided to do about 3 sets of these. And so people said, hey, you know, are you backing off on quad work? Yeah, a lot. I'm going to still do some quad work. I feel like these step-ups worked really well for bringing up my quads. They blew up a lot. And I've said I really want my hips, my hamstrings, my glutes to be a much, much higher priority, particularly hamstrings right now. I know I need them for all of my lower body lifts, particularly my deadlift lockout. But I don't want to completely neglect the quads. I mean, getting a little bit more quad is not going to hurt my squatting. And I definitely felt on the last couple of max squats, on the final rep, the heaviest rep, I felt some quad. So the fact that I felt some quad tells me they could become a limiting factor again very quickly. So just staying a little bit ahead is not a bad idea. Plus, because I'm not going to do any volume on my big lifts like that, my squats and deadlifts, we're hitting heavy maxes day in and day out. And then we're using all these supplemental lifts for the hypertrophy and the volume. I'm going to need to do some quad work. Now, I'm not going to do a lot of it. But we don't need a lot of it. I'm getting a lot of quad stimulation, just overlap from everything I'm doing. I have pretty big quads, but this extra work isn't a bad idea. So, I mean, on squat days, I'll do a few sets, and I need to just build up on this exercise. This exercise was tough today, though. It was definitely tough. Now, part of it is because I haven't done it lately. I haven't done it in a few weeks. And I'd only been doing it on Metcon days. And I had someone actually ask me, are you still doing your Metcon, right? And it's like, I hope you're kidding. Look at how I'm training. I don't have anything left. I do my 100 chin-ups. I do my 100 chins, which is almost as part of my work capacity. I do that every day. I'm doing a little bit of grip work. I'm doing some abs. Some days I'm doing some really high rep band work for my biceps right at the end. And people are like, why don't you film that? Because I'm not doing it before I do 100 chin-ups. Like, you've lost your mind. So because I'm doing it before bed in the evening, I'm done with all my filming. Like, I don't need to do a separate workout to film a 30 rep set of band curls. That's silly. And it's not like it's an impressive lift that we need to prove that I can do a band curl with a band for 30 reps. I don't think anyone's going to be impressed by that. That doesn't need to be proved. I would hope all of you could do 30 reps with a really lightweight band for curls. But I'm doing a little bit of that, doing my pinch block work a little bit, getting some grip work in, but I am doing my 100 chins every day. But outside of that, you guys are seeing the training. I'm going to be honest, I don't have anything left. Like, for me to do what I'm doing, I'm having to sleep about 9 hours on average every night. I'm eating enormous amounts of food, doing a lot of soft tissue stuff. I'm doing a lot of electric massager. I'm doing foam rolling, doing a lot of electric massage, like for my lower back. I'm doing just like high rep barbell or just band good mornings. Sometimes with just a band, I just grab a band and put it over my neck, or I do the empty barbell, just to get blood flow and to stretch my hamstrings out to make my low back stop cramping. And it worked pretty well. I did it all morning because I woke up with a little bit of it this morning, and I did all of that early this morning and put the massager on my back. And when the cramping went away completely, I did my squatting about 30 minutes later, and I've had no problem since. This entire workout, we had no issues, no cramping, no fatigue in the low back. But I'm having to watch that, and we do have to monitor that. That can be a sign of overtraining, but I'm staying on top of it and making sure my low back is getting a lot of blood flow, because that's going to be important. And I'm doing ab work now for sure. Definitely throwing in my band crunches, at least one good set every day, at least one really high rep set to failure, because again, strong abs critical for avoiding low back injuries. So I need to make sure I stay on top of that. So this is a level of training that, again, I would not recommend for most of you. I think a scaled down version of this could be workable. And I may go ahead and put something together as I experiment with this. But again, for those who don't understand, this is basically me just running the conjugate method, the max effort 2 days, because you normally do that 2 days a week in the rotation. I'm just doing it every day. But I feel like it's a workable system. Could a person do this on a 4-day upper lower? Yes. It would be two press days and then a squat day and a deadlift day. But the overlap of the lower body work would still be fine, because if you're doing a large amount of supplemental work, you're doing 12 to 15 sets of supplemental work on each of those days. That would be fine. You would be just fine in terms of getting all the overlap you need. But the name of the game here is we hit maxes every day to get all the benefits of max effort training, a wide variety of lifts, and then we come in and we build everything else up with hypertrophy work with an extra focus on whatever the weak points are. These were tough today. Like, I was struggling. A few of these, you guys noticed I struggled a little bit to lock it. I felt like I locked it, but looking, some of them are a little bit shallow. And I feel like I've reached my weight limits for now for this. I've been slowly bringing this exercise up, but because I do it so deep in a workout, I probably could be stronger fresh, but I'm hitting max squats and deadlifts and other work first. I'm never fresh when I get to it. So who knows? But I want to keep progressing on it, but I have realized that now I'm reaching that threshold of where it's getting hard. I'm going to have to just dig in and work. Just going to have to do work. But these are pretty much near my limits. I couldn't do like 15 reps with this weight at this point. So 5 by 10, and it's just 375 right now. But again, perspective. I mean, I've known a few people who are like, well, I do more than you on glute bridges. I'm like, that's fine, but what do you squat and deadlift? It's a supplemental lift, and I'll get stronger at it. I mean, I would love to get up to 500 pounds for 10 reps on it, but that's going to take time. I'm going to need bigger glutes, bigger hamstrings. But it's a great lift. This will really, I think, tremendously help me with that deadlift lockout, and it brings a lot to the table. I mean, this is a good exercise. It's a good exercise because it really works a lot of these muscles at an angle that nothing else hits, and it's a nice big movement. But it's still one that's easy to recover from. That's the main thing. People need to understand the reason I'm picking a lot of the lifts that I do is because I can do very high volumes of training on these lifts. All right, we can do very high volumes of training on high stimulus exercises. So stimulus to fatigue ratio. That's how you make a system like this work. My max lifts are not lifts that are easy to recover from. They're hard lifts. Those are lifts that if you try to do volume with could bury you. But we go for all-out maxes. We go heavy. Everything else, the majority of it, we're picking lifts that either have a phenomenal amount of muscles involved that hit stuff from a unique angle, or in which really work target muscles but are very, very high stimulus to fatigue ratios. And that matters because if we're going to do 10 or 15 sets of an exercise every week like I'm doing, it better be a recoverable exercise. You've got to look at that. You've got to look at that. But we still want to work as much muscle as we can in terms of that stimulus to fatigue ratio. So it's not just the fatigue ratio we're looking at the stimulus. Both sides matter, because otherwise people say, well, you could just do the smallest exercise you could find. Well, no, because it doesn't work a lot of muscle. But this is one of these exercises in that category. And again, phenomenal for the glutes, hamstrings, erectors, abs, everything. Good exercise. But I want to keep getting stronger at it. Now, I put some bands on today on this. I said I wanted to start doing bands. Now, some people are going to say, Jason, that's such a light band. Does it matter? Yeah, it matters. Because when you're doing large volumes of a lift like this, it's already a very challenging lift. Very challenging lift with a unique training effect. Just adding something like a light band, even if it only adds a little bit at the top, which is normally the easier part, we're getting a different training response. And believe me, over the course of 50 reps, that adds up. Starts to add up. Like I did notice a different feeling in my hamstrings. Now, does that mean that I'm going to stop with this little light band? No. I mean, ideally, in the perfect world, I'd love to get stronger with a heavier band. But we've got to build up to it. We've got to build up to it. And I've said before, this is going to be one of my main exercises. I know my hamstrings need to come up from my deadlift. They're a weak link. And that doesn't mean I have weak hamstrings. It just means that I'm not going to get much over a 600-pound deadlift till my hamstrings get stronger, right? I mean, if I was only trying to get to a 550 deadlift, my hamstrings would be overkill right now. I want to get to like a 650, okay? I'm going to need more hamstring. I've got to have it, especially for my sumo. My hamstrings are limiting my sumo. Maybe not my conventional, limiting my sumo. But we need to have the sumo and the conventional up over 600. They both need to be well over 6. Play around. You've got to train everything. That's what I've been trying to tell everyone with this stuff on your max lifts. You need to get strong at everything. You need to be strong at every big lift. It doesn't matter what it is. There are no exceptions. There are no exceptions. You need to be strong at everything. And that means that you've got to train the weak points on everything. If you train the weak points, if you find the weakest muscle, let's say 6 or 7 big lifts, if you find the weakest muscle that you have in any of those and you train that muscle into the ground, on all of those big lifts, you find whatever the weakest one is on every one of them and you focus on that muscle, you will be brutally strong. And you're probably going to be pretty jacked too. Probably going to be built like a tank at that point. But you will get strong. You will get strong by really focusing on any weak point that appears in a big lift. So if you find the weak point in your sumo and the weak point in your conventional and you train both those weak points, because it'll probably be a different muscle, you're going to get strong. It's unavoidable. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.